all of these wow things that has happened in my life recently, supernatural things, these not a coincidence things, showed up from one word, which was pray. Pray. Well, duh. I've been told to pray ever since I've learned what prayer was. I knew what prayer was before I was even a quote-unquote Christian. My grandma prayed by the bedside all the time. I've known prayer my whole life. I talk to God. I have conversations with Him in my head all the time. But the intimacy, it was there occasionally. The childlike faith is coming back in greater volumes, and it's more fulfilling. You know how as adults we're always just like, if I could just go back, if I knew what I had when I was 10, it was perfect. I had no responsibilities. I just got to play with my friends all the time. School wasn't even that hard yet. If I just knew what I had, I'd go back to when I was a kid. Guys, listen to what you're saying. If I knew what I had, I would go back to being a kid. Those were the happiest times. So many people who are just depressed now, they constantly think about, oh man, it was so great when I was a kid. I missed that. Just upset about it, right? The great news is you can be a kid, and you are a kid in the kingdom of God. Go back to what you want. Go back to your roots. Have a childlike faith. Have expectancy. Expect God to show up in supernatural, unexplainable through the natural world ways. It's real. And not only is it real, it's so fulfilling, and there's no pressure because you're a kid. Hello? You can go back. Go back home. Be the child that you were made to be. What does a child do? A child learns. A child has fun. Go have fun with God and learn from Him. And when you fall, say, God, my boo-boo, kiss it. And it will feel better, and everything's back to the way it's supposed to be. How amazing is that? If you're looking at this from a worldly perspective, it sounds so stupid, but it's not. It's so easy, and people complicate this. And I never even put the 2 to 2 together until I'm telling you right now. Everyone wants to go back. Everyone wants to be a kid again. Some people have different ages, but the moral of the story is, I want less responsibilities. I just want to have fun and hang out. Right? Guess what? God already took care of the responsibilities. God already fixed the sin problem. God already fixed the separation problem. You just have to, you have to choose to be a child again. Because as you grow up in this physical world, you are filled with doubt. And God's got to take that out of you. And you got to stuff it back up with rainbows and unicorns and everything. And not that the Christian walk is that. Because there will be hard times, but all the glory will go to God. And at the end of the story, it's a happy ending. It's a happy ending as long as you say, yes, I'm coming home. This world is not for me. I've tried. I'm done. The circle, and there's a square. The world, the earth is a circle, right? And you're trying to jam yourself into it. It's not gonna work. I don't care if you have a hammer. It's titanium. I don't know. Use your imagination. God is outside of the circle. And no matter what shape you are, because we're all different, God can take you. You will fit. The puzzle piece you're missing is your Father. Your real Father. One who knew you before you were in your mother's womb. If you ever go and search on YouTube and you stumble across some people that talk about their encounters they've had with God, and they talk about the love God had for them and the love God has for others, you can't help but to feel it and know it. How amazing is that? So how do we get there? How do you build a relationship with anyone? Not by not speaking to them. By talking with them all the time about every single thing in your life. That's how you get close. No secrets. Just talk. Just enjoy it. So what does Jesus say? What did Jesus say? What did God say? Matthew 6, verse 5. When you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who love to pray publicly on the street corners and in the synagogues where everyone can see them. I tell you the truth, that is all the reward they will ever get. But when you pray, go away by yourself, shut the door behind you, and pray to your Father in private. Then your Father who sees everything will reward you. We're going to stop there because I want to go over this. So, first things first, point it out. Don't be a hypocrite. What I see when I read this and what I see around me, put your identity in the one who gave you your identity, into God. So many people have struggled with this who grow up in church or grow up as a Christian. Your identity is not a Christian. Your identity is a child of God. You don't... Yes, do people need to be talked to? I get that. But it's saying, when you pray. Not saying when you witness, when you pray. When you're having intimacy with God, don't do it on the street corner. Because if you do that, you're looking for attention from man. You're placing man above God. No other gods before your God. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't place man above God. How do you do that? By not going out and trying to seek attention. If you have an intimate moment with God in a public place, fine, but that's not it. You have to build a relationship. Go to your private place and shut the door. What did we do earlier? We turned down the noise. We got still. We shut our eyes. I shut my eyes so that I would not be distracted. That is me shutting the door. Because I don't have a physical door to shut things out right now. So I'm shutting the door. I'm turning down the noise. Shut the door and go talk to God. If you don't have anything to say, say, God, I'm here and I'm listening. And just be still and breathe. Because when you're breathing in life. And who provides life? God provides life. God is life. God is the I am, right? God is the be all. So you're breathing in God. Because God says you are to be alive right now in this moment. And God has ordained you to be alive. So you're breathing in God. It doesn't have to be anything special. But the more you do it, the more you're seeking God, looking for God, the more you'll be able to discern his voice and when he's speaking to you. So earlier, I was talking about, I didn't know it at first, but I had a word from my friend from God, and I didn't really understand that was from God. I just said it. And then I was able to be like, wait a second. And I was just watching another person talk about this, how he started seeking to hear God's voice. And he talked about how he correlated it. He talked about it being a frequency, but how he correlated it with a feeling. It's a certain feeling you have. It's certain peace. It's going to be good things. It's not going to give you anxiety. It's not going to give you fear. It's not going to give you depression. It's going to give you peace, rest, joyfulness, loving. That's what it's going to give you. But you have to be in tune, the right frequency, if you will. Your noise has to be turned down. Door needs to be shut so that you can focus and you can be in tune with that. And then, once you learn that, when you pray in the quiet place with no distractions, you're more likely to hear that voice when there is distractions. And you're more likely to be able to discern that voice and be led by that voice if you know what you're looking for. Jesus said it, not me.